This is the Ghost and Phantom 2, set 75357. Comes with Hera Syndulla, Jacen Syndulla, First Officer Hawkins, Lieutenant Beta, and Chopper. So for pros, we can already say that the set is very colorful, with just the sand green on the sides and a bit on the back there, to the just red on the top part, and the kind of sand blue in the front towards the back. Just great color scheming, and it's so well how they blend together with the studs and the flat tile pieces. On the front cockpit here, we have these two guns at the bottom, which we'll get to in a minute. We also have this front bubble cockpit. Has a nice little steering wheel thing. Another seating part right here. If you wanted to stick another minifigure, we'll take Jacen here. You just stick him right there. If you wanted to make it easier on yourself, Lego put a nice mechanism in here to where you could pull the entire front part off, to where you could seat the minifigure in through the back and make it easier to stick the minifigure right here in as well. And then when you're done, you can just stick it nice, neatly back in its original position. On the top, there's another little bubble. It can fold down like that. You just fold it up, and we're going to take First Officer Hawkins and just stick him into the little gunner seat there, fold it down, and now he can man the guns on the top of the shuttle, like that. It also has a really nice feature to where it just takes off the entire top of the Ghost, to where it reveals a lot of interior space. In here, we can take our final two minifigures, Lieutenant Beta, stick him right there, and Chopper. We can put him on the little tiles on the floor. There's some nice little details in here, from a little sink and a little basket where you can put some items to this control panel on the opposite side of the room. And when you're done with that, you can just simply stick the top right back on. On either side of the Ghost, there are these little hatches that you can fold down. They do a pretty good job representing, although they don't serve much purpose. In there you can see there's a way for them to get inside, but you know, it's kind of hard to actually walk them up the ramp and fit them inside that way. That's why Lego has the top part that you can take off. One other thing I would like to add, I really love the neatness of these two little, I don't know if they're escape pods or little hatches on the sides, but I just love how they're made. Like such smooth rounded edge. On the back here, there's some nice detailing for the thrusters on the back, although this blue color is very curious. I've never seen it before. Let's compare this, which came right here, and this piece. This is clearly like translucent, transparent, whatever you want to call it, and this one is sort of misty blue. It's very different from this, and I've never seen this piece before. We've had just this, or sometimes a sparkly sphere in the past, but this is new to me, and I think it looks really good. The large thrusters on the back are also very cool. I love the little tire looking pieces, as well as like the arms making up the thrusters going into the ship. It just makes it look so like shiny and neat. On the back, you may notice that this thing right here looks a little out of shape. That's because it is actually a separate ship that you can take off. It's called the Phantom 2. That's why it's called the Ghost and Phantom 2, because they're technically two separate ships. And it's just a little thing so you can set minifigures in. We're just going to take a quick look at this thing. It's very small. I mean, of course it's not going to be the actual size of the Phantom 2, but, you know, it gets the job done. It fits really nicely on the Ghost. It's not making the ship look awkward in any way. We can just pull this part up to seat a minifigure. If we wanted to seat our Lieutenant Beta right in here, we could definitely do that, like so, and just fold down the cockpit. On the sides right here, you may be noticing that this side is sloped, while the other remains without that slope, and that's because if you wanted to, you could take off Chopper's head like this and just set him on the side like he does in the Ahsoka show. Now, I have flipped over this because I want to show you a really cool mechanism that involves the cannons on the front of the ship. If we put two spring-loaded missiles right here and here, as I've already done, and we just turn the cannon to the left or right, we can see that the missiles will fire when you turn the cannon. That's pretty awesome. On the bottom, there's also some really nice landing gear to help keep the ship stable when it's, you know, on display. As far as the minifigures go, they are a decent selection. Hera Syndulla here is pretty accurate to her show appearance. It looks really good. I love the orange like pants as well as a brown jacket. It looks really good with the kind of little fleece kind of on the collar area. Hera also has a double-sided head. One side shows her like tranquil, kind of passive face. The other one shows more angry and kind of hostile. Next up is First Officer Hawkins. I have no idea what importance this guy plays in the show. He was seen in like 5 seconds of one episode and then like never again. I'm not sure why he was included in the set. I mean, his legs don't even have any printing. His torso, barely anything. Hairpiece, we've seen it before, and his head is new, but it's just so bland. I don't really know why he's in this set. Next, we have Jacen Syndulla. He's the son of Hera Syndulla. His double-sided head. One side is kind of like a grin. The other one is a smile with his teeth showing. He has brown hair. That's not accurate. Clearly in the show, he has green hair, just like his mom. And it's just so peculiar how they got it wrong. Brown instead of green. How do you mess that up? Otherwise, though, he looks pretty good. Chopper, he looks awesome. He looks just as good as his old minifigure from a couple years ago. He's got front and back printing, which is awesome. Lego tried to recreate the little dish on the top of his head where he has like a little satellite dish. It doesn't really get the job done as well as it should. It's just a little white, like, circular piece. It doesn't really work. It represents it, but it doesn't look like a satellite dish at all. Next we have Lieutenant Beta. I don't know where this guy is in the show either. He doesn't have any real appearance, I don't think. I could be wrong. But it is my first Mon Calamari minifigure, and I like it. I like the headpiece. I like the torso and legs. I just like how he looks, but he had no significance in the show, so he's alright. The cons with how the ghost looks, I have none. It looks absolutely stunning. Much better than its predecessor that we got a couple years ago. I don't have many cons with the structure of the set, although there are some pieces that frequently kept falling off, such as these two pieces. They went to the back of the ship. If you can see right there's a missing white piece. That goes for both sides. But every time I picked up the ship, they would just fall off, so I just kept them for safekeeping. There's also a couple pieces on the back that keep falling off, such as these like little gray kind of like tubes right here, as well as the arms, but that's something I can put up with. It's not really that big of a deal. The Phantom 2, I also don't have many cons with. Of course, it's not as big as like a minifig scale Phantom 2, but of course it's just a play scale set that we're dealing with, so it doesn't really matter that much. I will say that the tail fin is a bit blocky. You can just see there just these like 4 tiles just making up this one section. You can see there's some gaps just there. Even like these little slope parts right here, you can see that there's just a bunch of gaps. It looks a little messy. On its, like from a distance, it looks really good, but when you look up close, you can definitely see that the cracks are there. It's a little disturbing to me, but not that big of a deal. As for cons with the minifigures, I don't have any for Hera. She's a really good figure, really accurate to her character in the show. I'm just kind of curious that they used like actual plastic like head tails and not kind of the rubbery kind that we usually see on this species, but it's a great figure. Chopper, he's pretty good. I mean, I don't like this white dish on top that's supposed to be the satellite on top of his head. I feel like maybe they could have done some sort of exclusive piece that would have looked more like a satellite dish. The old one, if I recall correctly, had nothing on top of it, and I think I kind of prefer that better, but it's still a really great figure. First Officer Hawkins, who is this guy again? This guy had a very minimal role in the show. Really nothing special to this minifigure at all. He came with a blaster. Just really bland, barely any printing. Not a great fig to come with this set. Jacen Syndulla, really great figure. Although his hairpiece is incorrect in the show, he clearly has green hair. It's not a huge deal to most people, but for me, I can't really see how they got that wrong. I tried replacing his hair with a green hairpiece that I have, and it just doesn't really work. I mean, if they were to just recolor this green, I think it would have been a really great figure, and it still is. Don't get me wrong, it's still a really good fig. It's just they got the hairpiece wrong, but other than that, really great fig. Lieutenant Beta, I don't have many cons with. I don't know why he's in the set. He doesn't really fit with it. I don't remember seeing him in the show, but I still love him. But, just doesn't really fit with the set. In conclusion, the set is really good. I love this ship and the Phantom 2. It's so good. It's just way better than the one we had a couple years ago. The other one had gaps all over it and just didn't really blend the colors well. But this one is just absolutely stunning. I love it. And the minifigures, half of them are good. The other half, talking to you two, aren't perfect, but they're still pretty good. They're all exclusive. We haven't gotten these figures ever before, so it's really good to have them. It goes for $160, I believe. I feel like that's a bit pricey considering we get less minifigures than we had in the ATTE set, but I don't really think they contribute to the price all that much. So yeah, there you have it. If you're a fan of Ahsoka or Rebels, I think this is the perfect set for you. Really cool, sleek build, decent minifigures, but I think this is a really great set.